Hello, yams, jams, and squidlets alike. If you're someone that was trying to find information on the MSF Basic Rider course and ended up on my channel, you've come to the right place. We have content for days. Papa Yam will guide you on your journey to ultimately getting ready for a motorcycle. It's honestly like having a baby. All this prep work, all this learning until one day, you're suddenly a road-worthy motorcycle rider. Wow. Today I'm going to go over a very highly demanded topic from you little sons of... just kidding. It's one you guys message me and ask all over my social media. Yammie, what bike do I buy next? What's my starter bike? What should I get next? Well, just like cars, guitars, and most other hobbies, you just really never know. You could start driving a Focus ST, then graduate to an RS, or go straight into crowds with a Mustang. Is that joke still funny? I don't know. For guitars, you might be like everyone else and start with a Strat pack and then end up playing something insane like Michelangelo Battio's quad neck guitar, but probably not. I'll cut the jibber jabber and give you guys the most common bike progressions. Without any more delay, here we go. Number one, the sport bikes only progression. I kind of count myself among this group here. You saw a bike lean at 60 something degrees on TV or in real life, or your local squid did it while you were in a car. Suddenly, you have an urge, an itch, and it's worse than chlamydia. You want a freaking sport bike, and you're gonna do it no matter what. For the sport bikes only rider, you're probably starting out on a sub 600cc bike. Maybe a Ninja 300 or 400 R3, or maybe you got conned into buying the Suzuki GSX 250R, or maybe even a Honda CBR 250R or 300. After you've put some serious, and I mean serious mileage on one of those bikes in a season or a year, it's time to graduate, move up to something faster, a 600. For the love of squidding, the 600 is next in your progression. Maybe a GSX-R 750, you want to become a Gixxer bro, but for most, the sub 600 to 600 and up progression is pretty normal. If you can live for a couple more seasons, the leader bike will be your next destination, and maybe you'll get on a Busa, a Turbo Busa, or even a ZX14. But we all know Ducati would be a little bit more fun. The sport bike's only progression is for the rider that wants to lean, corner, and do triple digits in the blink of an eye. The pros of this is there's a lot of room for error. Crack the throttle on your little R3 too hard? No worries. Did you do it at 10k RPMs on your R6? You might be screwed. The gradual progression of learning how to ride, learning the bike, and then moving up to bikes which require more responsibility is what makes this path so logical, and it's why countries in Europe and in Australia have laws in place to kind of get people sort of on this path with the A1, A2 licensing system. It ensures that the rider lives while expanding the potential on different bikes. The progression comes full circle when someone with years of sport bike experience decides to put experience and knowledge to the test and destroys every 600cc bike on the track with just a little 300cc bike. Kind of like I do with my RC390. Speaking of sport bikes, did you know I'm giving away a Ninja 400? I'm also giving away a Suzuki DRZ 400 and a CB650R. Head over to, you know what, just go to yammienoob.co. Just go there, pick a tier, and get some entries. We're talking a lot about beginner bike progressions today, and any one of these bikes is a great starting point. If you seriously want Papa Yams or even Yammie J to read off a list that you came up with, well, that's tier 4. If a subscription is not your thing, kind of like the old black boxes for cable TV, who remembers those anymore? Hop on over to YammieNoobMerch.com. That's .com. It's a total crap that I can't get the .com for Yammie Noob anyway, so I'm squatting on that. Buy some merch for yourself. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win. Thank you for your support and good luck. Now, number 2, the dirt biking since I was 4 progression. All right. You've been riding on the dirt since you were 4 years old, and then there are unlimited options for you. In high school, you probably got your driver's license just so you could get your motorcycle endorsement, in which case there's really no telling what bike you chose, anything from a dual sport, a sumo, or even an ADV bike, in case you're one of the larger guys in high school. Anything is possible. Some squids even start out this way. Dirt bike experience equals beginner leader bike. You think I'm joking? Someone with years of experience can do the MSF course blindfolded at the age of 16, will probably handle a leader bike better than most experienced 600cc riders. However, it is pretty different riding a 250cc 4-stroke on the dirt and riding an R1. Now, back in the day, you were trying to find the Ocarina of Time. They were ripping mega dank canooners through the woods and breaking bones and crashing. They can be quite fearless, they can progress on anything, and they will. For all of those who were once dirt biking toddlers, we salute you. We're just jealous that our parents didn't get us started a little bit sooner. It's a pretty fun hobby to have in your childhood. For the rest of us, well, we had video games and posters on our walls. Number 3, cruiser, cruiser, and cruiser. In the progression of motorcycles, there will always be the group that only wants a cruiser and nothing else. Their progression will start small if they're young and then progress to louder and bigger bikes as time goes on. They don't always have to be on a Harley. Beginner cruisers often start with smaller displacements like the Honda Rebel 300 or the Yamaha V-Star 250, maybe in the 650 to 750 cc V-twin range as well. The next bikes riders will progress will normally be the determining factor on the future of their riding career. Some will go to Harleys while others will seek the looks of the Triumph Rocket 3, Ducati X Diavolo, or even a Honda Fury if you want to get crazy. The cruiser progression is known for those that say, no crotch rockets. It's cool, bro. Not everyone wants to drag me at the track or ride in a ridiculous position for 30 minutes at a time. Cruisers are for relaxed people that enjoy the ride and the scenery. I'm not saying you can't get on a sport bike, but some of them are just too uncomfortable, especially at older ages. Number 4. The just divorced progression. By the power invested in me as your two-wheeled Lord and Savior, I, Valentino Rossi, pronounce you divorced and free to buy a motorcycle. Nothing is better than getting unhitched and suddenly having the freedom to do something that you've always wanted. It's the best to get away from a spouse that restricts the things you could and couldn't do. This script is starting to hit home. The just divorce progression is normally a free-for-all, but sometimes there is some logic in it. Most divorcees end up in the MSF course and then look at 2 different tiers of bikes, either the mid-level or top of the line. The problem is that some of these guys and girls won't have the necessary experience to ride these bikes. Hey, you just got divorced. If you learn on a Ninja 300, you can sell it and then buy another one whenever you want. Who's gonna tell you no? Your wife? She's gone. The other ones just go all after the Ducati, the GSX-R 1000s, the Goldwing, the Harley Davidsons. For the divorcees out there, the freedom of choice and riding are 2 of the greatest feelings. As someone entering a new hobby, these riders are open and willing to learn, but bring with them resentment from their relationship, which in turn may fuel the bigger purchase, or buying the top-of-the-line bike as a starter. Take caution, my dudes and dudettes. Age, marital status, and income have nothing to do with how well someone can ride a motorcycle. Riding experience cannot be purchased, so keep that in mind. Sure, you want to rip a fat nooner in front of your ex's workplace and be spotted on your new Ducati. The truth is, you should be riding and buying for yourself and your experience and not what others may think or feel about you. Just remember, crack wheelies and forget your feelies. Spend wisely and, oh, congratulations, enjoy your newfound freedom. Number 5, the whatever I want progression. Against popular opinion, this rider has chosen to just do it. Leader bike with no experience, he chose a Ducati. Never been across the country in a car? Let's do it on a BMW R1250 GS. Don't know how to drive fast in a car? Do the Ninja H2. The whatever I want rider is some of the most dangerous on the road, or can be. It always goes either one of 2 ways. Either the rider actually stays mature, gains experience, and learns their bike, or something forces them to smarten up. Death can always catch up to them as well. Some people don't overthink motorcycling and they're actually natural riders. Cool idea, but that's not for everyone. Getting whatever you want is normally the fastest way to wasted money on a motorcycle or a trip to the ER/morgue. There's a reason why people have started out on the bikes they did. Don't be upsold, guilted, or peer pressured into buying a bike that someone else won't be riding. Make a good choice, and if you're trying to get on that RSV4 as your starter bike, you might want to consider some of the other progressions we've mentioned. Number 6, the collector. Of all the progressions a rider can have, the collector is quite possibly the most fun. I would honestly consider myself a collector because at this point I've probably been with more bikes than women. The collector seeks out a different bike every time he or she decides to progress. Most collectors collect a bike and keep a full stable. Their collection can be completely random or a timeline of a specific model. Someone might have one of every Yamaha R1 generation in their garage, which I'd be jealous of, or they would have one of each, which would be a sport bike, a cruiser, an ADV, a dual sport, etc. The collector seeks to find a different thrill with every bike. Most progression is seen as linear and having a smaller and slower bike and then staying within sport bikes and progressing to a bigger and faster one. The collector might start on a sport bike, sure, but then their next bike might be a supermoto, which is completely different, or maybe they'll get an ADV to go cross country, or add a nice cruiser to round things out. Not every bike will do what you want it to do, so the collector gets props for branching out into the different types and styles of bikes. Their inventory will probably change monthly, but they'll always manage to have at least 2 or 3 bikes that are completely different from one another. The Iconic Motorbikes Instagram account comes to mind as I peruse it every so often and just drool at all of the cool collectible bikes I will never be able to buy. A Squid collector only has 4 bikes, a GSX-R 600, 750, 1000, and yes, a Turbo Busa. He rides all 4 with flip-flops. Number 7, the mid-level starter progression. Listen up, kids, Papa Yams doesn't condone or advocate starting on a 600cc or bigger bike unless it's a 650cc class, which is completely different. I'm actually going to group the 2 bikes together because they represent a real market in the motorcycling world. They both have become popular bikes for many and pose as a alternative to the small displacement cliche starter bike. 600s do not make great starter motorcycles, but sometimes restrictions such as money or riding time have someone concluded that they should start on a 600cc. It's possible, it just takes a lot more patience and practice, and you won't be really learning a lot, you'll just be trying to survive. Anything in the 600 class will not be as forgiving as a 300 or 400cc bike, but it can be done. For those other riders, the 650cc is an excellent place to start. It is a manageable displacement and it's fit for a lot of beginners and something you can really grow into and enjoy for years to come. Both 600 and 650cc bikes can be seen as mid-level bikes, which is why I'm grouping them. Absolute beginners can work their way up to a 600 or a 650, but people can buy either and never progress. People have progressed from a leader bike to a 600 or even 400cc for track duty. For the rider that says one and done, the 600 or the 650cc are probably the best option. They'll still progress, but maybe at a slower pace than other types of riders or different needs. Now, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. What did you have as your starter motorcycle, or what do you want your starter motorcycle to be? If you already have your starter bike, what are you thinking of getting next? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Please write me something. I do try to read everything on new videos, and I will probably check it out. Do you feel oddly similar to any of these progressions? Please let me know in the comments down below. And of course, remember to check out YammieNoob.co and YammieNoobMerch.com for all of our motorcycle giveaway services. I don't think we can classify them as that. I'll have to talk to my lawyers. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Fact: Pablo Escobar lost roughly $10 billion to rats eating away at his fortune. Goodbye.